Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and today we are going to continue our lecture, and this is going to be the final lecture for Property Management 2, RES 558, and this topic is regarding liability. So we as property managers, we are professionals. We are professionals that is under the purview of the board of valuer, appraiser, estate agent, and property managers, whereby if the professional services that we give to our clients is not sufficient, and there will be some malfunctions at the property, and then we will have the professional liability that we will have to be responsible. Okay, so first of all, we need to look at the role of property manager. So of course, property management is a process that aims to safeguard the interests of both the landlord and tenants by fulfilling the basic responsibility, whereby some of the basic responsibility like cleaning, security, maintenance, energy, storage, move, relocation, project management, asset management. So this is some of the particular aspects. So if any task that we conduct in the property is actually based on our responsibility. Okay, so some of the roles you can look through based on the manager and also the team members, whereby the manager can relate with the tenant, collect the rent, to manage operating expenses, conduct maintenance, crisis management, security issues. So people always see that liability is physical, like having a wet floor and people fall down and then broke their leg, and then sue the company. But we must also know that liabilities not only involved with the physical aspect only, but also the non-physical aspect, like the investments that we manage. If we mismanage the investments, we put in some get rich scheme, and then you already lose your customers amount of money, and then of course it's part of the liability. Maybe you can be brought to court in cases of criminal breach of trust, CBT. We don't want that kind of thing to happen. Okay, that's for the manager's role. For the team members, they will become the construction manager, director of security, the accountant, concierge, leasing team. So not only just the managers is going to be responsible, but also the team members. Most likely the majority of you, when you start working in the property management sector, either you can become the property executive or the building executive, and then you conduct some works or maintenance or investment, and then it's going to be not very efficiently executed, so it will affect towards the customers. Okay, multi-tiered role-based access, profiles of property manager. Of course, we need to be proactive, dynamic, and also diplomatic, reliable, sociable, and cooperative, and of course trustworthy, organized, and multitasker. So this is some of the things that needs to be part of a property manager or property executive, whereby we provide services to people, professional services. So we deal a lot with the residents and also the customers. Okay, the duties, the responsibilities. So this is some of the case study that we can look. Okay, Property manager fails to make the repairs, the necessary repairs, cause of action, negligence. Negligence, you are being negligent. You are not conducting your duties. You are not executing it properly. Okay. So annual revenue more than 35 million. So if we look at the event, property manager was hired by commercial building owner to manage the facility, and ongoing leak in the building roof caused substantial damage to the tenant's property. In addition to suing the building owner to recover the value of the damaged properties, several tenants legally terminated their lease agreements. The building owner sued the property manager, alleging negligence for failing to maintain the roof and to repair the leaks in a timely manner. Damages sought included lost lease income. So the case was settled for more than 200,000 ringgit. Dollars. The property manager incurred defense costs which surpassed 50,000 ringgit. So you can see from this kind of case studies, you as a property manager, you are responsible. Let's say you are managing a shopping complex, and then there's some leakages, water leakages happening on the roof, and then the tenants they store this very high value products in their shops, like having computers or even laptops. So the water damages, if they drop on the computers and the laptops, of course is going to cause significant damages. From this case study, the tenant already sued the property manager, and then the property manager, of course, they have to pay this settlement, and also together with the defense cost. So you see, we need to conduct our job as properly as possible, even though you have the professional liability insurance, but of course when the next year came, the premium is going to become skyrocket, because you already been sued and have to pay through the professional liability insurance. Okay, so what is liability? Liability relates to exposure of damages, injury or death caused by organization's activities, and that organization has to be responsible for that consequences. Damages on bodily damages, on financial damages, on asset damages, on the goods damages, injury or death. For death, of course, is towards human. Okay, so causes death or injury to person, damages towards the property and other types. So sources whereby the liability is being held by the property manager is using the common law or tort, having the contract between parties, whereby can have a tenancy agreement or lease agreement between the tenant and also the property manager. Statute, legislation, we have to look at Strata Management Acts, and National Land Code, whatsoever. So we have to look at the legislation. And strict liability, whereby the terms and condition of the tenancy and everything is already covered inside the liability. So liability is held by the organization towards the injured person in the same position as before the damage occurred. We have to give compensation for the death or personal injury, and pay fines or even imprisonment for statutory breach. Like you are not following the rules and regulation that stated in Strata Management Act, you try to cut costs, cut corners, and then these injuries happen to the tenants or even the customers. So of course we have to find out who is responsible for this kind of action. So make sure don't cut corners, don't follow grey areas or whatsoever. Just follow strictly towards the SOP and the rules and regulations set out by the government. We have the acts and everything. Okay, So definition of tort, a tort may be defined as the breach of legal duty owed independent of contract by one person to another person, for which a common law action for unliquidated damages may be brought. Okay, so tort is the breach of legal duty which is owed by one person to one person, whereas the difference between crime is the breach of legal duty which is owed to and enforceable by society as a whole. So crime on the whole public, the public will prosecute people who are breaching this legal action. For tort is one person to one person. You are like a case study, like I'm a customer, I'm suing you because you didn't conduct your duties properly, and then the roof already leakages towards my computer. My computer contain a lot of important information. So you are the one who brought this injury towards my computer. So I'm suing you as the property manager. Okay. So negligence has grown to become the largest area of tort law. The name negligence itself means failure to pay attention to what ought to be done or to take the required level of care. So you just like you are managing an apartment, you didn't clean the floor, you didn't clean the swimming pool. So in the swimming pool has already being moldy and having bacteria in the mold, and then people swim in the swimming pool, they get the disease from the swimming pool because of the mold. When find out, you didn't clean out the swimming pool, you just clean once a year, so it's going to be a very low level of care. So a man is considered to be negligent wherever his conduct falls below the standard which is set by the law. You didn't maintain the car parks. The car parks is full of rocks and stones. So when people go through the car park, they puncture their tire, and then they are getting involved in accidents. Okay. So negligence may be defined as the breach of legal duty to take care owed by the defendant to the plaintiff, which results in damages towards the plaintiff. So in a sense, you must have the common sense, you must have the professional action for us to avoid negligence from happening. Like having the signboards also, no smoking, must wear safety boots, fire hazard, everything, must wear safety hat. So if you didn't enforce this kind of rules and regulation in the workplace, of course people coming in working or even visitors, they didn't comply with the rules, then it's also going to fall on your responsibility. You are being negligent for not enforcing the necessary rules and regulation at the premises. So elements of negligence, number one, the claimant was owed a duty of care, whereby I expect let's say I expect a certain services from you, for you to maintain the roof, so that there's no water, snow, fleas, or even animals to come through the roof and then will damage my goods in the store. Number two, there was a breach of that duty of care. So of course, if there's a leakage on the roof, I already informed you, but you didn't take any action. So of course it's going to be breaching that duty of care. Number three, the claimant suffered damages as a result of that breach. I already informed to you, but nothing happened, and of course the leakages, one day a tropical thunderstorm comes through, and then everything in my store is already being water damaged. Number four, the damage suffered was not too remote. So the leakages on the roof not only affects my store but also several other stores. People selling clothes, people selling handphones, they are also facing similar damages because of the roof not being repaired in time, although it's already being informed to you. Okay, duty of care, the breach of duty, you can look through what is the definitions of breaches of duty. Okay, the causation and remoteness, like we discussed earlier, remoteness and damaging result of the right type which is not too remote, secluded or far off. Okay, the two significant issues which now must be addressed are the question of causation and also remoteness. So causation is concerned with the problem of whether the defendant's conduct caused the plaintiff's damage, and remoteness is concerned with the cutoff point which the law regards the defendant as no longer liable to compensate the plaintiff. Okay, this one is, like I said earlier, professional liability insurance. Of course, as a professional, based on the Valuer Appraiser and Estate Agent Act 1981, we need to have professional liability insurance. It's for us to protect ourselves also. Sometimes it's not based on our fault, but nonetheless we have to pay some damages. So from the insurance we can conduct claim. But if you are found guilty, then of course the professional liability insurance can help to protect you if you are found negligent, because building professionals are personally liable for the consequences of the action or failures to act. Any consultant in active practice should be protected by professional liability insurance. This coverage not only protects personal assets, it provides a means of maintaining a good reputation by defending allegations that might be frivolous, malicious, or even false. So sometimes, although we have already conducted a good job in maintaining the property, but people they are not satisfied with the services, they still say it's going your services is not very good and everything. So we can use the insurance, the liability insurance, if they are trying to sue or whatsoever. Okay, professional negligence, the elements of malpractice, how to prove the damages. So malpractice cases require plaintiff to prove that damages were suffered as a result of it. So these damages may be economic or non-economic in nature. So additionally, depending upon the law, punitive damages may be available. So if there's economic damages towards the plaintiff, they have to pay, like having asbestos in the apartment for 10 years time has already give them a cancer, so they have to pay a lot of money for the cancer treatment. So they are suing the property manager because they say, oh, the property manager has not followed the rules and regulation in letting the asbestos getting into the residence home. So they are blaming the property manager. Lost wages due to time loss, work from time loss from work due to the injury. So let's say cleaning the floor, it's a wet floor, they fall down and then they broke down they broke their leg, they cannot work for 5 months time. So they are saying, you have to pay my wages. My wages is about 3,000 ringgit per month, so you have to pay 3,000 ringgit per month, so I cannot work. Okay, non-economic damages, pain and suffering. People become traumatized. And they are scarred. They have to get psychological or even counseling for the emotional treatment. They have to get professional help. Okay, based on the pain and suffering. may include emotional pain and also distress. Seeing an action that is very surprising or startling, like seeing office tower or even a apartment collapsing in front of their eyes. So it's going to be very much an emotional pain and very distressing to the residents there because of the negligence. Okay, the remedies. Okay, what property managers need to know. Duty of care and breach of duty. So you need to find out what is the element that can become negligent, the definition of the legal duty of care. Okay, establish a special duty of care situation, and then you need to find out what's the remedy, what is the circumstances in which damages can be awarded. Okay, they distinguish or distinction between the different category of damages, and then the different types of injunction and their application. Okay, so this is some of the case studies, court cases, DBKL versus Ong Kok Peng and SL. So they said plaintiff mengalami kecederaan parah akibat terjatuh ke dalam lubang lift, the flat keliling. So dia minta ganti rugi sebanyak RM30,000. So kat mana kita tengok sesuatu yang terjadi akibat liability DBKL tidak menyelenggara lift tersebut dengan baik. Okay, pihak ketiga cuai, didapati bawah common law ataupun tort terpaksa membayar ganti rugi kepada defendant sebabkan kecuaian daripada pihak pengurusan DBKL, tidak meletakkan tanda ataupun apa-apa signboard mengatakan bahawa bahaya ataupun ada keadaan yang bahaya lah disebabkan oleh lift yang rosak. Okay, some of the other cases, this Arab Malaysian Finance Berhad, so this is the economic loss, economic loss. Okay, so in conclusion, property management is a professional profession conducted by a trained person who is able to manage the property at the best possible approach. However, the profession has to hold some amount of liabilities which may affect the profession if there are some misconduct. Hence, the responsible property manager needs to ensure that the practice is well conducted and to avoid any misconduct related to law. And property management company may apply for professional liability insurance to protect the company if there are claimants on professional misconduct and proven as guilty. Okay, so this is also the conclusion for property management 1 and property management 2. There's not going to be any more property management topics for you. So I hope everybody can benefit through what we have learned from the session, from our tutorials, from the tests, from the final exams. So I hope everybody afterwards, when they go and venture into the property management division, so they can implement all the knowledge that we have discussed together. So sometimes it's not going to be sufficient learning at the university. You are going to learn on working basis. You are learning on the job, but nonetheless, don't be disheartened and try to stay positive, because in the end, if you conduct the property management job very well, it's going to be very rewarding. So I hope everybody can succeed as a property manager afterwards. Okay, so with that all, I will end the lecture and also the semester with wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.